Like this is the bigger one. I don't even know what I have in here. Hold on. What do I have in here? Oh, okay. I travel with this. Oh, I keep my other cell phone. I keep my Brazil cell phone. See, I keep, and then I keep all this protection on it. You know what I mean? I have like the, what is this? Oh, this is, you know, I have the diode. I have this on it. This is my Brazil phone. So I keep like stuff in here. Like if you travel, try not to have all your electronics out. And I don't care if you turn them off. Make sure you, it's go dark. You can look online, go dark. I'm not a sponsor for them, so, you know, I don't sponsor anything, but I love this company, and I travel with these. So if I go on a plane or anything, because all of your electronics have that battery, that lithium battery. Hold on. They have that lithium battery on it, and they can just combust. And remember, I told you what I told you. That's why, remember, this is reset, y'all. They have to clear everything. They have to clear everything. They have to clear the entire set. It's like being in a play, and the play, this is the finale, okay? So it's very important for you to understand that there's rogue energies going around. Like even putting the smart meters, you can deny them the smart meters in your houses, y'all. I don't know how many times I've told you that. Like in my house in Florida, remember I told them to kiss my grits? Kiss my grits. Remember that? Kiss my grits. I told them not to come to my house. And guess what? I went to New York. And what I find? Those motherfuckers came to my house. They came to my house, y'all. It's my house. I pay the mortgage. I'm paying the stuff. How you going to come to my house on my property and come to my house? How did they know I left my house to put the smart meter on? So you know what I did? I called those motherfuckers and I said, you going to get arrested. I'm going to do whatever I have. I'm going to spend everything to get at you. Because, you know, I'm petty like that. And I said, take the goddamn smart meter off my house. I'm not paying for it. Take it off. So know what they had to do? They had to come to my house and take the smart meter off. And I had to pay a little fee per month. Isn't that crazy? I had them take off the technology and I have to pay a fee. So I had them take the sucker off, and you don't have to have a smart meter in the house. You can tell them that is your right, because a smart meter is a bomb. It's a nuclear bomb. They are going to clear this site. It's a set, y'all. They got to clear the set. What happens when you're done with a play? You got to clear the set. You usually break down the props. All of these so-called Tesla cars, they want you to get, you know why? Because those are bombs. Allegedly. I'm not saying anything. I'm a liar. Don't listen to me. Okay? Those are bombs. Allegedly. Those are all lithium batteries. Did you see that? Listen, they all, okay, solar panels, everything that they're promoting you to now is to clear the set with reset. You got all these people driving around here. Be careful if you got your people down the block or next door that got Teslas. I'm telling you, allegedly, I'm an actor, I'm a joker, I'm an idiot. Okay, there isn't any reason. Why don't they want you to have your old cars? Why don't they want you to keep your old vehicles that don't have those batteries in it? My suggestion is not to put solar panels on top of your houses. If you're gonna have them, put it on the stands on side. I know it's unsightly, but if you go there, like I said, if we get a huge solar flash, what do you think is gonna happen to the Teslas and the smart meters and the solar panels on your house? You know the pole shift is coming, right? Okay, you know the solar flashes come in. And again, I don't even think the solar flashes are organic. I think sometimes there's natural ones and there's the ones that they generate, because they have HARP systems all over the place. All they have to do is put a flash and that sucker, everything blows up. Okay, did you ever see when the guy has a lithium battery and they make it seem like, you ever see those videos that were showing online and they had no context to it? Where it's like in India and the guy's holding his phone and then he just incites. First of all, I think he's a robotoid. I think he is actually a lithium battery. People ask me what I thought of those videos. Some of the videos you see the actual device blow up, but in some videos you actually see the being blow up. I actually think that these are robotoids that they have living around people that have lithium batteries, and they're literally exploding. Okay? It's very important that you pay attention, y'all. If you are on that next layer, and you a gladiator coming to the point where we're going into the Coliseum, and the Coliseum has Tesla cars. Did you watch the movie? They told you what happens to the Tesla cars on The World Left Behind. What is it called? The World Left Behind? Is it called The World Left Behind? Oh, Leave the World Behind. Thank you, Demache. The World Left Behind. Leave the World Behind. So remember all those cars, those Tesla cars that were just going all in one crowd? They would go driving, auto driving to one location. That was them telling you not the real. That's not only what they'll do. They can also be self-initiated to blow up, y'all. Okay? Anything with a lithium battery has that ability. That's why I walk around like this. Because this is a Fahrenheit bag. This is a Fahrenheit bag, right? Okay, I keep this in this, and I'm hoping that's enough. And I don't keep a lot of technology. And I told you, my baby brother turned off my computer back there. I made him take out the lithium battery. I couldn't do it. He took out the lithium battery. I'll plug in my computer, but I had people like, why would you do that? Because that can be used. And you know how Willy Wonka doesn't like me that much. Why would I ever let them have something that they could activate in my house? You notice I tell you, I have 0 televisions in my room. I haven't ever put televisions in my children's room. I won't put television sets in anything. Those are all can be activated and what do you call it? Ignited. Okay. Aluminum box, I think so. Professor A, I think so. Like a ferment, that's a classic. I think the aluminum box you got to see, but that's metal. Just find the material that they use for the Fahrenheit bags. Now, the aluminum is cool because it probably helps to mute everything inside. You're a guy. I'm assuming you're a gentleman. You probably know more than I do. A Fahrenheit bag, Fahrenheit bag. You know how they do it, right? So, see if you find out like a good formula to putting it. I know back in the days they used to put it in like, yeah, aluminum boxes. And so remember like the military guys have the steel boxes where it's like the lead boxes. Are those lead? Who are my military guys? Do they have are those lead boxes? I have one downstairs. Yeah, Cactus, it could. They could do it right now. I don't have a TV yet. Fahrenheit bag. Okay, thank you. The other sea stars are explaining what the Fahrenheit bags are multiple layers of various metallic layers. Thank you. Myth said that. Victorious. Thank you. I would imagine that just a program in the binary level code that causes a battery to overheat. Well, you know, especially when they're on your phone, a lot of times how you know they're tapping your phone, they tap everybody's phone is tapped. But, you know, since Fleur Brun has been back from the Rainbow Russian man that was stalking me and big up to the Rainbow Russian guy with the rainbow shorts in Vancouver. I don't know what that was about, y'all. But ever since then, my phone was getting hot. And I know from listening to others who are in the, you know, in the techie field is like a lot of times when they're triangulating your phone or trying to listen and tap in, your phone gets hot on the block. So I make sure, listen, I do what I got to do. You know, again, I progenerate this reality. A lot of the drama that's progenerated in this reality, I'm sure I co-create because of the way I think, my mindset. But I do take into account that a lot of the technology that we have literally has the ability to do more harm than good. That's what I'm saying. When you're exposed to gamma radiation, it does something different to your genes. Like your superior genes that get turned on, your codons that are literally snap closed until you reach a certain precipice of expression of energy or frequency, it opens up and it allows to express certain abilities that are ancient, that your ancient ancestors had access to. That's what I'm talking about. You being a gladiator, you being one of the super beings that are literally waking up to those abilities, and many of you are experiencing it. Also, I also think some of the sleepiness that some of us may have been experiencing, you know, it's like a forethought. It's like a thought that I thought after the fact is, you know, when a caterpillar goes in and creates a pupa or a chrysalis or a cocoon, Y'all, a good movie to see is watch the movie Cocoon. Oh darn. Okay. Uh um Delmarche, can we watch Cocoon next time? We did movie. Remember, we did the Forever Zoom. Delmarche, can we watch Cocoon together next time? Can you remind me, Delmarche? I think we're gonna watch the Cocoon together because it's such a good movie, y'all. If you've not watched Cocoon, y'all, this is what I'm talking about. So I think some of that sleepiness that some of us were experiencing could be a layer of um like a dormancy. You ever have a baby? Like I remember my children, like whenever they're about to have a growth spurt or change, they go into sleep. They sleep more. They have to rest more because their body is transforming, it's growing, it's expanding. So they need more sleep. Um, that's why I think that it's really important that during that time, because I remember 3 days ago, I talked to a lot of Zombies and they were living in different countries and we all had the same sleepiness, like the same level. My mom had it, I had it, even my children had it, like a lot of people I knew had it. It makes it makes sense to me that that might have been some sort of dormancy that was because we were changing, morphing, expanding. The abilities that we have were now because when the ability comes online, your body has to take up for that. So it has to change certain things about itself to be able to take on that new ability. Everything works in sync. Your body is symbiotic. Like everything works together in sync. So if something turns on in your body, other things have to shift and change and transform in order to make that permissible. So that's the part of like, I think the dormancy, I think that's my opinion. I can't vet it out. We're going to see what abilities mine. There's certain things happening to me now and beings that are in contact with me, y'all. I will share that on Zoom, but it's real. I talked a lot of smack, y'all. And that's why I say bloodline matters. The beings that have been in contact with my ancestors and my tribal, many of you know I come from the Caribs and the Taino. I talk about that often, but I don't really talk too deeply because unless you come from that bloodline, it's kind of like a lot of people don't know too much about them unless you're from that area. And I don't want to ever focus too much on it, but there were certain things I found out that were revealed to me by my mom, and I found out what I didn't know, and then I'm having contact from beings that have been in contact with my bloodline, and I had no clue that they were real or existed. And I'll kind of discuss that on Zoom. Just remind me to discuss it. I was in awe. Like I had to contact Maria and say I'm just so happy and so in awe. Like there's certain things I do and talk about certain things, and it's because I don't believe it. Because to me, as being a contactee, a lot of my contact, if not 90%, is tangible. It's tangible things, beings coming to me physically. Unlike people saying, oh, in dreams. No, mine is physical. Okay. Why I tell you that is because I'm drug free, alcohol free. Some people do that and they have contact, but that's not the contact I have. I get contact in physical form. And because of that, the things that come to me are more physical. So I don't believe in things that aren't tangible to me because of the layer of contact I have. But I realized that there were certain things that I judged that I shouldn't have judged based on I didn't have an awareness, nor were the people who were saying they had contact, were they really having contact. So I thought that the people, I know y'all, I don't want to talk about it, but I'll talk about it another time. People who are having contact are lying. So I tend to stay away from things where I see a whole bunch of people doing a hokey pokey. When I see people doing the hokey pokey and I see they're talking about things that I know very well they're not having contact, they're lying to people. I just won't believe in anything. Oh, okay, I'll say it. The Orishas. I won't believe anything people will say about the Orishas because most of them will talk about it. I know for a fact they're not telling the truth because it's tangible things that don't make sense. Like it's not real. But I realize the reason why they're not telling the truth is because the Orishas only contact those of the bloodline. So when I found out that their Orishas are real, but the people who are most progenerating it most likely aren't having real contact, I found out that they were real because when they are truly from the bloodline that the Orishas have had generations of being in alignment with, they come to you. I didn't know that. So I got to take it back. I got to eat. Should I do it now? Should I do the apology now, y'all? Okay, I'll do it. It's not really it's hard for a Sag to apologize, right? And say that we were wrong, okay? But I was partially right. But let me keep a real apology. I apologize for saying the Orishas weren't real. I apologize because I was wrong. I apologize because I didn't know. So I am sorry for stating that they were fake. I'm surprised they even come and talk to me because I said a whole lot of crazy things, but I don't apologize for other things because a lot of people who said they were worshiping Orishas and doing stuff with Orishas, they weren't really in contact with Orishas because they didn't come from the bloodline. But I found out in real time that I call Marie. I totally have to eat crow. I said the term right. I have to eat crow, y'all. I had to find out that they're real, and they're so real that I'm even in shock. And I'm in contact with all kinds of beings. I'm in shock, y'all. The things that have contacted me, y'all, it's a bloodline thing, y'all. It is. And that's why some of these $5 Indians and all these people who say they're Native Americans, they're liars. Because the ancestors, I knew that they are not contacting them because they're not part of the bloodline. They paid for the bloodline. They paid the $5 to take on the lineage and to have some of the perks of the indigenous, but they're not indigenous. That's why they don't get any intel from the ancestors. That's why they aren't able to ever get any new information. Remember how I told you that in Brazil, how come none of the Orishas warn people? But guess what? I gotta criticize myself, y'all. I had an idiot moment. I said that, but the one person that I'm close to, Clariana, she didn't get the ba 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 ba. And the Orishas wouldn't let her get it. But everybody in the house of Orishas got it. And they were on her because she didn't get it. And she didn't get it. The Orishas wouldn't let her do it. And she's the most integrity ridden. She doesn't do drugs. She doesn't smoke. And I didn't. Like, sometimes hindsight is 2020. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm getting after myself. So let me apologize, everybody. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to be disrespectful, and I did not know, and I was wrong. And now that I know better, I'll say better and do better and acknowledge better. So I apologize about the Orishas. I didn't know. And it was so ridiculous because I should have. I should have. But because I was seeing so many people that weren't connected to the bloodlines who were placating, like the $5 Indians going around going woo, 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 like they were Indians, I just felt a certain way. So I apologize. I should have had better discernment. So if you ever felt a certain way about me saying that, I'm sorry if I ever made you feel a way. Okay? I said I would, yeah. I've had some contact lately and it's crazy. I'm kind of like I didn't know. I didn't know. When I went to Salvador, remember I told you that I went to Salvador. Big up to everyone who's been to Salvador, Brazil. I was staying outside, like it was an island about 4 hours of Salvador. So finally I went to Salvador one day. And anyone who's been to Salvador knows that the Orishas are on the waterways. Like they have them on the lakes. Like you see each of the Orisha, like Oshun, you'll see Yamiya, but they'll be on the lake, like in full statue. I haven't ever seen that before. And I remember seeing it because we were leaving the Bauza, which is the boat. I had to take a ferry boat, like 4 hours. It's more of a ferry boat, but it's called a Bauza. So I had to take the Bauza across to the to inside Salvador. It was on a holiday weekend. So I went in and I remember the first thing I saw was the Orishas on the water. And oh my gosh, they were so beautiful. Like, when you see places where there's amazing images of things that are connected to melanated people, specifically from the Americas. I know it's from Africa, the origins, but which Africa? Okay, so remember that. There's a couple of Africas. Africa from the Americas. I think they're from Africa from the Americas. This is what I think. Because when you hear the historical context of where the Orishas came from, the stories about where a lot of these religious the religious practices that utilize or have, utilize the Orishas in those religious, practices, you'll hear it's from Africa. But I'm starting to think, like, what part of Africa? Because when those Orishas are standing that beautiful in the waterways and you witness something like that, And it's so connected to the landmass you're on, because when I saw the Orishas, it felt connected to South America. It felt like that came from there. It felt so connected to the land that I was standing on that I couldn't see it coming from anywhere else. I really couldn't. And let me ask my African diaspora over in Africa, like Central Africa and West, do you have Orishas that are standing and are built um, that are built in Africa? I want to ask that question because I don't want to make the assumption, because I could be wrong. But do you have in West Africa, do you have, and in Central Africa, do you have images of the, um, do you have images of the Orishas like standing out in statues? Can anyone tell me? Because I don't know. You know what I mean? Because when I see them all in the Americas, it's like they belong there always. Anybody? No, I don't know. I'm asking my African diaspora because you would more so know. There's so many countries. There's over 54 countries in Africa. It's a huge continent. I couldn't possibly say that I know because I don't. It has so many beautiful places. I don't know. In Nigeria, they do. Oh, in Nigeria, they do. Do they have the Orishas? How long? Okay. They are from West Africa, but don't believe you supposed to make images of them. Okay. The rest of Africa has different systems, statues and gods. No, I just asked specifically about the Orishas. Okay. I listened to okay. They have a village dedicated to Oshun. Ah, in West Africa. Okay, thank you, love. See, thank you, Aziza. Okay. Thank you for that. There are towns dedicated to Orishas in Africa. Okay, thank you, Deirdre. Oh, I love it. I love our African diaspora. Thank you. Thank you. I love it. Okay. So they are from Africa. Nigeria has, according to our sisters, there are Nigerian and a couple other places in Africa, the different Orishas. Okay. There are a lot more. No, there's a lot. Oh, there's a lot. I learned in Brazil how many. Listen, I went to the House of the Orishas. I didn't know there was that many. There's so many. And remember I told you about the one that contacted me? Yeah. So there's a lot more Orishas than known. Okay, so I just wanted to give that out there. So I don't want to hold you guys too long. I just wanted to talk about the things turning on for you right now. We're about to need, that sounds crazy. We're about to go through a huge leveling of our consciousness. And it's because all of these things are coming together, the convergence, left and right, a Republican hits Democrat, which is crazy. Black and white, everything is hitting each other. Foreigners versus immigrants versus people there. Everything is coming together. The convergence is happening. Everything has to be, you have to be activated. The gladiators, the Olympians, the Olympics is telling you who you are. The Olympics is basically and who won the Olympics the most, y'all? Who won in the Olympics the most? Who has the #1 spot? It is those from the Americas, y'all. The Americas, I think, if I'm not mistaken, the Americas took most of the medals, and that tells you who the Olympians are, y'all. That tells you who they are, okay? So I think it's time for everyone to accept it. Now, there are going to be things physiological that happen with your body. Remember when we talked about ascension symptoms? I don't believe in that. I think it's all a part of the cocoon, like you metamorphosizing because you're starting to become who you always were. And I will tell you this, because outside the firmament in my cryo state, I look a certain way. I personally think, and I can't say this because I have theories and I can't vet it out until we actually wake up out of the firmament, but as you start to get closer to reset and waking up outside the firmament, your body starts to become more of what you look out there than in here. So if some of you are lions, Lyrians, if you are lion beings, and you have a lot of that reminiscing kind of lion kind of esque inside, you might start looking more like a lion. Like if you your mane starts growing out, your eyes start to get more slit. Like if you this is my personal theory, because it's a theory. Because if you wake up outside of the firmament and you wake up in your cryo state and you look differently, it would mess with your peace of mind, because you would have to, because then you have a whole nother form of acclimation. As soon as we are getting close to leaving this reality, this simulation, and we wake up in our dormant state, we're going to start to look more of like what we do out there. So I would say the more that you are in here, that's what I'm saying, be careful. And this also says this too. I gotta say this, because there were beings that had both sexes that I saw. So there could be some layering effect of why that's happening too. Maybe that's happening because of the beings that are living outside that have both their hermaphrodites. So there could be something like that, because someone else also saw them when they woke up outside of the cryo state. So it makes me think that the hermaphrodites these are beings that do exist with us, some places that we live outside the firmament. So there could be some layer of that happening within here. But I personally have a theory that when we get closer to waking up, we're going to look like ourselves more there. So if your features start to change, and you wouldn't come so far apart from yourself here, you might come shorter or taller or skinnier or fatter. So you'll become more of what you look like out there. If you're younger there, if you're older there, you'll start to look more like that. So I know what I look like there. If you start to see Fleur Brun start to look like, Sigourney Weaver. I'm serious, because I'm more athletic in the cryo state. I'm more athletic. That's why I came here. When I generated myself and projected myself in this firmament, in this reality, I probably wanted to be busty and more voluptuous looking. I have a feeling, because I love the way I do love. I know people think that's weird, but I love the way I look. As far as like, you may not like the way I look, but I love like my robustness. And it's kind of like a struggle, because I know that that's not the norm here. So I know it's not normal to like your thickums, but I love the way I look. Like when I look this is a personal conversation, y'all. I do love the way I look, like without clothes. I love the way I look. So I know I chose this specific look. I know I did, because I love my skin. So I know I chose to look this way, because outside of here, I'm much more athletic looking. I don't have big boobies. I don't have any loft. I don't have any round thighs. I look very different outside of here. So this avatar that I chose, it's kind of like you almost choose the opposite, because it's like it may be an admiration thing. Like if you could be anything, you may choose to go out. Like let's say you could choose your avatar. You may choose something so you ever see people play games and they pick like the most like, I've seen people who play games and they pick an avatar, they pick crazy hair, they pick like a reddish hair, spiked hair, like really busty, really not busty. Like, you ever see them? I personally think that we choose our character avatar here, and we generate ourselves in a bloodline that can bring that together. So I chose this look. So outside of this firmament, I look very athletic. I just look less voluptuous. I'm more like just like what a woman soldier would look like. Not so much a soldier, but I just look more plain, and so on. So that's my theory, y'all. I think as we get closer to leaving, if anyone's coming here and they're lion beings, that's why I think a lot of the lions are coming out right now. Do you notice that? Like a lot of people are looking like lions, y'all. Remember I did Brother Rich's show, and we were talking about the Lyrians? I'm noticing a lot of people looking real feline-like. And also I'm noticing women looking very mer-like, like very aquatic, like their skin looks aquatic. They look really like water-like beings. So I'm personally thinking whatever you are outside of here, you're going to start to look more as we get closer. So that's that activation. That's the gladiator. That's you becoming like the Olympian. So however you show, this is my theory. That's my theory. I don't know if it's right. So I don't want to bank on it, because it's just, I just thought about it. I was like, as we get closer, we're going to look more of like what we look like. Because if we woke up out of this simulation, it would cause too many problems if we look too far apart. So we got to merge with the being we are outside of here. That's why that last scene, when Atreyu looked at himself in the mirror, he saw the little boy from the book, The Never Ending Story. Yes. So the never ending story, remember that? He looked at himself and he saw the little boy, and that was him. So it's kind of like that. Okay, so 2 movies to watch, y'all. 2 movies to watch. The never ending story. If you've not seen it, I know our younger demographics. Listen, I know you think our movies are corny, but it's just the content. Just watch the content because it's relative. The never ending story. I told you the Dark Crystal 50 million times. You got to watch this, the Dark Crystal. I can't tell you enough. You have to watch the regular show and then the series, okay? And then our new one that I'm going to ask you to watch is Cocoon, because the Cocoon talks about, I don't want to tell you, it's a good show though, and you can watch it. I think if you little ones, I watched it when I was young. I really enjoyed it. So the Cocoon. So those are some good movies, and also Supercell, because Supercell goes into the activation of you turning into your galactic avatar, like your super being person, like the person you really are. That's what I'm saying. As we go into the theater, the main theater, or the what is it called, the Coliseum, we are going to bring our best game. That's our finale. So we're going into the Coliseum now. The avatar has to go into supercell mode, where you turn into the gladiator, you turn into your Olympian version. That's what I'm saying. That's the final exam. That's your finale. So you're going to start to shift into that. Allow your body to go through the process. Stop fighting it. It is part of you regenerating, turning, switching, and everything turning on to supercell you. So I think it's amazing. I'm excited. This is the finale, y'all. We're really there. And I mean, some of you have finals. Some of you already took your finals. It's going to be amazing. Some of you are going to watch others take their finals. So I think this is a masterful time. Start to make sure you give your body all that it needs for this finale. It's going to be the best video game ever. We're getting clues. We do this all the time on Zoom. Woo, I tell you, we stay up. I stay up. The way that we stay up on Zoom is insane, but it's like it's necessary. It's kind of like, when you get a study group for the finale, and you get a whole group of people that meet up at the house, and they all study. Like, okay, this is the exam. Okay, we're gonna get this question, and you kind of work with each other. It's kind of like how Zoom is working now. Okay. So, all right, y'all. So I hope this was helpful. I'm sorry again. I apologize. No, I'm not going to apologize. I'm not apologizing for YouTube. I'm not going to apologize for YouTube taking my videos down. At this point, you'll see when you see it. I did upload the part that they asked me to review is real bootleg. I got to upload it to my Patreon. I'll do it. Why they took it down, I don't know what prompted them to take it down, because I said so many things in my video. I can't pinpoint it, but I really think it's because you're not supposed to use